You don't chase a man's heart. You awaken something in him he didn't know he was starving for. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung, there exists a rare kind of woman who never begs for love, never needs to prove her worth. Yet somehow she lingers in the mind of every man who's crossed her path. She does not seduce by force. She does not try to impress. She simply is. And in that stillness, in that quiet sovereignty, she becomes unforgettable. This woman is not necessarily the most beautiful in the room, but she has something far more dangerous. She has presence. Her power doesn't shout, it whispers. She's the type of woman a man remembers at night when the world quiets down and his thoughts finally betray him. What makes her so magnetic? It's not what she does, it's what she embodies. She's not perfect, she's whole, and holiness in a woman is rare. It drives men wild, not because it entertains them, but because it unsettles them. It challenges them. It mirrors back to them the masculine in all its hunger and the feminine in all its depth. She is detached, not in the way of cold indifference, but in the way a queen does not beg for loyalty. She expects it. She moves with the serenity of someone who knows her life is already rich, already full, and anything that enters it must elevate it or be dismissed without ceremony. This isn't arrogance. This is emotional discipline. And when a man senses this kind of detachment, not the kind rooted in fear, but the kind rooted in self-worth, his curiosity turns to obsession. She's the kind of woman who won't text first, not because of a game, but because she has better things to do than wonder if he cares. She doesn't beg for attention because she has cultivated a life that already satisfies her soul. A life filled with deep conversations, creative rituals, moonlight dances, and mornings spent in silence with her coffee and her thoughts. This kind of woman is dangerous because she's not waiting to be chosen. She already chose herself. When a man watches her from across the room, he feels it, something ancient, something sacred. She's not wearing what's trendy, she's wearing what reflects her. Every detail, her scent, her posture, the way she touches her own neck when she laughs, feels intentional, not to impress but to express. She's not dressing to attract him. She's dressing to honor the goddess within her. And when he tries to provoke her, because they always do, eventually, she does not react like the others. There's no explosion, no desperate need to explain herself. Just the soft smile of a woman who knows her silence can slice deeper than any insult. She is not triggered by childish games. She's not shaken by passive aggression. She has met her shadow, made tea with it, and tucked it gently into her ribcage. So when Cos knocks at her door, she doesn't collapse. She glides. He may test her. He may try to see if she's like the others, if he can control her rhythm. But she will not dance to anyone else's music. Her emotional world is a palace. Not everyone is invited in, and even those who must learn how to speak in her language. One of reverence, not reaction. This kind of woman doesn't just attract men, she haunts them, because after her, simple affection feels dull. Ordinary women feel loud, and games feel exhausting. She leaves a mark not because she demands to, but because she knows who she is. And that knowing is the most seductive thing in the world. There's something about the way she listens. Not with the urgency to respond, not with the need to impress, but with a silence that draws your soul out of hiding. A man can say 1,000 things to her, yet it is her stillness that undresses him. She does not nod for approval. She does not interrupt to validate. She simply receives, and in that receiving, he begins to feel seen, not for his image, but for his essence. This kind of woman holds space the way a temple holds prayers, quiet, unshaken, eternal. And men, though they may never admit it, are starving for this, for the woman who isn't obsessed with correcting them, fixing them, or competing with them, but also doesn't shrink or fold. She just is, entire within herself, a walking paradox, soft yet sovereign, gentle yet immovable. She can look a man in the eye and unravel every mask he's ever worn, simply by not needing to wear one herself. She knows her shadow. She knows the part of her that wants to scream, the part that wants to chase, the part that fears being alone. But instead of letting those parts hijack her voice, she sits with them, learns their name, gives them a mirror. She's not at war with herself, and that's why no man can ever conquer her. It is her emotional intelligence that disorients him. Not just intellect, but depth. She knows when to speak. And more importantly, she knows when silence will speak louder. In a world full of women who broadcast their wounds for attention, she heals in private. Her dignity is her rebellion. Her mystery is her weapon. And when she loves, she loves like the ocean. Not because she's desperate to be loved back, but because love is her nature. She doesn't need to be told she's worthy. Her worth is not a question. It's a foundation. So, when she gives affection, it's never to earn, only to express. She doesn't need constant reassurance. Not because she never feels insecure, but because she knows what to do when she does. She doesn't run to him. She returns to herself. She lights a candle. She breathes. She whispers truths back into her bones. She understands that a man cannot hold her storm until she has danced in its rain and found beauty in the thunder. Her feminine energy is not a performance. It's not learned from TikTok. It's ancient. It's remembered. It flows through her hips when she walks. It flickers in her gaze when she looks up slowly. It pulses in her chest when she says, "No," with a smile, not out of malice, but mastery. You cannot manipulate a woman like this. You cannot breadcrumb her and expect her to stay. She is not moved by empty promises or potential. She wants the real. And if you cannot bring her the real, she will not rage, she will not chase. She will simply exit, quietly, cleanly, and forever. Because she knows what most women forget: walking away with grace is a higher power than begging with tears. A magnetic woman does not seduce with perfection. She seduces with truth, with vulnerability that's been alchemized into strength, with chaos that's been refined into poetry, with desire that's been rooted in discernment. And that, more than beauty, more than charm, more than wit, that is what leaves men breathless. There's a kind of woman who doesn't chase attention, yet it finds her. A woman who walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere without speaking a word. It's not her outfit, though it flatters her. It's not her beauty, though it's undeniable. It's her presence, that rare and haunting energy of someone who belongs to herself. She is not trying to be impressive. She simply is. Every gesture she makes, every glance she offers, every pause in her speech, drips with the confidence of someone who does not need validation to exist. She has mastered the art of inner power, not dominance, not loudness, power. The quiet kind, the sacred kind, and men orbit her like moths to a flame they don't understand. Because she is not there to prove herself. She is not begging to be chosen. She is the chooser. And when she chooses, it means something. Her standards are not spoken. They are felt. Not because she announces them, but because they are written in the way she carries herself, in the way she says no, with no drama, in the way she refuses to explain her worth to anyone unwilling to see it. This kind of woman has done the inner work. She's danced with her shadow and doesn't flinch at discomfort. She's peeled back the layers of who she was told to be and reclaimed who she truly is. And so, when a man meets her, he senses a depth he didn't prepare for. He finds himself wanting to rise, not because she asked him to, but because he feels he must, just to stand beside her. She knows the game, but she doesn't play it. She doesn't manipulate. She magnetizes. She doesn't chase. She attracts, not with gimmicks or seduction tricks, but with alignment. Her feminine energy isn't about submission or passivity. It's about trust. She trusts herself. She trusts the timing of things. And that kind of trust is irresistible. She allows him to lead, but only if he knows where he's going. She welcomes his strength, but only if it comes with safety. She is soft, yes, but that softness is earned. It's the softness of a woman who could harden and didn't. Who could have become bitter, but chose depth instead? Who could have closed, but decided to bloom? The psychology behind her power isn't mysterious. It's archetypal. She embodies the anima, Jung's feminine soul image that lives within all men. She stirs something in him not because she's performing, but because she reflects a forgotten part of his own psyche, his longing for wholeness, his hunger for beauty, not just in form, but in feeling. And when he experiences her, it's not just attraction, it's recognition. This is why men remember her, why they dream of her, why they compare others to her long after she's gone, because she awakened something in them that wasn't just lust, it was truth. She understands her emotional landscape like a queen knows her kingdom. She doesn't fear her anger. She listens to it. She doesn't avoid sadness. She welcomes its message. She doesn't silence her desires. She channels them. This is the emotional sovereignty Jung spoke of when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." She made it conscious. And now she directs her life. Men don't just fall for women like this, they unravel. Because her love is not just affection. It's transformation. It challenges their ego. It stretches their soul. And not every man is ready for that. But the ones who are reap, they never forget her. So, to the woman listening to this, ask yourself, Seducing, do you hold space for yourself the way you wish a man would hold space for you? Do you know how to dance with your darkness so your light doesn't feel like a mask? Do you radiate not just charm, but clarity? Because in a world of noise and desperation, the most attractive force on earth is a woman who has come home to herself. Now, I ask you this, which of these 6 behaviors do you already embody? And which one will you start applying now? I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments.